Hello, everybody again. So, our today presentation is concerning sources and control of opportunistic fungi in the hospital environment. Um, um, uh, I think this is our fourth presentation, and through this presentation, we will discuss main topics we already mentioned before. One of them is the good, the bad, and the ugly. So this is a nice film material of the good and bad, and the bad and the ugly. And this is meaning for us fungi, because this fungi doing a lot of things for all of us. One of them is penicillin. So penicillin is a famous antibiotic. It's already produced by Penicillium chrysogenum, and it used for a treatment of huge amount of people. So it's a good thing for all of human beings. So it's the good side of fungi. On the other part is the bad, which already plant pathogen and even human pathogen, which already affected our agricultural groups. And this is why we said um, um, uh, uh, the bad. The last one is the ugly, and this is X-ray showing aspergilloma in a lung of a human being, and this is why we said there is a very bad negative side of fungi. So oh my God, it's maybe arrive to our lungs, yes, to our kidney, yes, to our brain, yes, it can kill us, yes. So fungi is very dangerous, and it's called the silent killer. No one take care of this organisms, because it's no one is accepted the idea that this fungi is very bad. All the time they treat fungi as a good person or good organisms. But there is a nice story called Fungus is Among Us, written by Joy Keller. It's discussed the presence of fungi in human habitat around us everywhere. So you can find it in your air, in your water, in your bed, in your skin, and vegetables everywhere. So fungus is among us. So it's a nice, funny word is even used in USA all the time. Fungus among us. So let's go to the black side of fungi and death. What available information is already very, very, very scary and odd also. This data is already available on Global Action Fund for Fungal Infection, Gavi. So if you find this website, gavi.org, you will find a lot of this association or NGO established by David Denning in UK, and already already has different branches in all over the world and ambassadors. And our Egyptian ambassador is Professor Sharif Zaki in Ain Shams University, and he is the ambassador of Gavi in Egypt. So there is a topic, it's very, very scary. It's called hidden crises. How 150 people die every hour from fungal infection while the world turns a blind eye. Oh my God. Each hour, 150 people died by fungal infection. Oh my God, what happened? We don't read about that. We don't read any information about that. No one said that. We think that people is just die due to other diseases, not because fungi. But it's real information that is each hour we lost 150 people due to fungal infection. So Sharif Zaki in the 5th National Fungal Day in Egypt this year, he presents some data and magnificent presentation concerning fungal infection and burden in Egypt and what is the problem. So serious fungal infection and the size of problem is already published in Gafi website. And if you went through all this data, you will be astonished. A lot of people die in comparison with other diseases. Fungal infection is a big burden. It mainly it's directly causes a lot of people this each year, and this is why we are going to concentrate on this topic in this presentation. So some annoying and scary data. Over 400,000 people developed pneumonia in AIDS patient, and we know that pneumocystis is described as a fungi in 1980. Before that, it's described as a parasite, and this fungi is already killed about 400,000 AIDS patient without therapy, because it's people not expected this infection back to fungi. Over 135 million women suffer from recurrent yeast infection. What we said candidiasis each year with much discomfort, a huge unappreciated problem. No one even care about this problem. It's a huge amount of women worldwide suffer from this recurrent yeast infection without any attraction or research directed to solve this problem. Nearly a billion people have a fungal infection of the skin. It's considered the third most common illness on earth after headache and dental caries. So fungal infection of the skin is already infected a billion people. Oh my God. So people, immunocompromised patient of AIDS lost 400,000 people each year due to pneumocystis. Over 135 million women suffering each year from recurrent yeast infection without any care. Nearly a billion people have a fungal infection of the skin without any care. Oh my God. So it's considered annoying and scary data indeed. So in Gavi and during Sharif presentation, he already supported us with some of the spider diagram concerning annual burden of fungal infection, especially with AIDS patient. It's about 11 or 12 million people, and estimated this is about 500,000 each year. Oh my God. So what happened? Why is fungi turned more bad and more active against the human being? On the other hand, hospital-associated infection in cancer and transplanted patient and in intensive care, the annual burden is 1.5 million per year, and estimated this less than 500,000 per year. Oh my God. So already there is a kind of infection happened by fungi, and it is not recorded or even uh, take attention of the physicians to identify them as a fungi. They just the people was already died or killed, and no one is interested to follow up why. So in 2001, there is a nice article. It's called Uncommon Opportunistic Fungi, New Nosocomial Threats. It's discussed some environmental fungi. Fungi already is in everywhere, looks like air around the hospital or even in indoor habitat in hospitals. And they found these fungi turned from a kind fungi into dangerous fungi. And they called it new nosocomial threats because it's not expected to be behave looks like that. And um, emerging fungal infection due to Groland Welch in 2001. Due to, this is emerged for reason alter the hostos. So if it transplanted patient or AIDS patient or diabetic patient, so different kind of host is there. Selective pressure, environmental condition, and the fungal pathogen. So four factors completely directed to emerging fungal infection in hospitals, not in Egypt, in worldwide. So it's a big problem, and due to that hypothesis and these data, they found a lot of fungi and yeast. You know, fungi is a kind of molds is referred to filamentous fungi, but yeast is referred to unicellular fungi. And they found a lot of fungi with septated and aseptated hyphae. The hyphae is not septated at all, looks like the group of Zygomycota, and septated and the fungi with septated hyphae. It looks like dematicious fungi with dark colored mycelium and conidia, or hyaline molds looks like fungi with conidia is hyaline without color, and they classified them in different categories, and they included in them some new emerged pathogen. So that is why we are started to concentrate what happened for these fungi. These fungi never recorded as pathogen before, and just googled Zaki research, and you will find he already even recorded some basidiomycetes doing human diseases. Oh my God! So it's a kind of mess right now due to the previous factors they mentioned: altered host, environmental condition, selective pressures, fungal pathogen. So these factors already collectively made emerging fungal infection, which not expected before by us. So as I'm just said to all of you, if you go to Google Scholar and search invasive aspergillosis, you will find about 80,000 results. So a lot of research worldwide concerning medical mycology, medical fungi, invasive fungi, nosocomial fungi, new nosocomial fungi. All of these is directed worldwide for research because it's a very huge problem in Europe and in USA. In Egypt, we don't care about it. It's because it's fungi. We are just interested in bacteria. So what about fungi? Fungi is not that important. So fungi in air and human health, you will find a lot of published work concerning exposure and health effects of fungi on human. So if you are working in a closed area, closed indoor area, and this closed indoor area is non-well aerated. Huge amount of fungal spores in the air is present around you. It will infect your lungs. One day it will infect your lungs. So exposure and the health effect of fungi on humans. There is a nice topics in different journals published concerning this topic. So also how environmental fungi cause a range of clinical outcomes in a susceptible host. Take care of this susceptible host. If it's diabetic person, elderly people, immunocompromised patient. So what will happen if environmental fungi, we are here talked about environmental fungi, not talked about medical fungi, it's just environmental. Some fungi in the air looks like Aspergillus, Cladosporium, Alternaria, Curvularia, Drosera, whatever. So it's just environmental fungi. If it got the chance to infect you, it will. There is a nice book also, you can find it in internet, Environmental Mycology in Public Health. So this book is very important book for all of you to know something real about fungi and mycotoxin risk assessment and management. How you can doing risk assessment and management of fungi in your home, in your work, in your hospital, in your villa, whatever. You should know this dangerous effect of fungi and their mycotoxins on your health. So another data from Gaffey showing that population non-hospital fungal infection of the lung and severe asthma. Oh my God. So we are talking about 15 million annual burden, and the estimated death is about 810,000 people per year. So, oh my God, the majority is concerning Aspergillus. So we are talking about Aspergillus species, especially Aspergillus fumigatus, which already air fungus. So it's doing a lot of very, very, very chronic lung infection and causes this. So no one of all of you is expected that fungi can kill himself or herself, because we are using all the time the word bacteria. We are not care about fungi. So most of you is working in clinical lab, and even if any physician asks the patient to doing analysis, so you are running after bacteria, you don't care about fungi. So fungal keratitis is the infection of eye, and you can find what already number of patients per year, and the difference between male and female and young male agricultural workers is represented by as example 70%, whatever. So it's another kind of fungal infection of eye, and it's cause really unexpected diseases for human. So, oh my God, so fungi can kill me, can kill AIDS patient, can kill transplanted patient, diabetic patient, blah, 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 blah. So it's a very, very serious problem in Egypt. So one of our students already isolated by air sampler fungi in air in one of the intensive care unit, and you can see how many fungi in petri dishes for 100 liter of filtered air. So this number of fungi colony forming unit is just for 100 liter. What about the huge room, which is 3 meter by 3 meter, and the volume is about 27 cubic meter? How many spore of fungi present? What about the patient with what about the patient case? Is it elderly? Is it a heart disease patient? Is it it came from a surgery? Whatever. So you can expect these environmental fungi will go to do some infection in this patient. Also, if you are going through the spore of fungi, some of them is going through your nose, other through your mouth, and the other on your skin. So if you even if you ingested some fungi, looks like we have some candida and saccharomyces in our colon. So if the spore size of the fungi is range between 9 up to 30 micrometer, what already this size will affect the human, it will affect the visual and cause visual pollution. If it go between 5.5 up to 9 micron, it may be settle in nose and throat. So that's why already Allah created for us hairs in nose. So it is not good for all of people to remove this hair from your nose, because it's already created to prevent these fungal spores. Also, it can move till your bronchioles if it with a very small of spore size, if it 0.1 to 0.3 micron. So if you are working under fungal spore contamination in indoor habitat, or during farmer collection of wheat and strawing, dust size and something like that, the building workers which work without any mask, and the dust already carry some of these smallest spores, it will settle in his lung directly and cause aspergillosis maybe, or something like that. So we already have something published in 2013, microbiota of our outdoor air that can cause asthma, a case study from Lake Manzala, Egypt. So you can find this paper, and you can find how this the area very close to air Lake Manzala is affected by fungal spore population, and how this affected the people health there. One of the most important fungus in Europe is called Stachybotrys cartarum, which is black mold, and this is producing the trichosicine mycotoxins, and this trichosicine mycotoxin is affected human by inhaling, not by eating, but just if you're smelling it's completely affected your health. So WHO is already put first indoor air quality guidelines on dampness and mold. So if you are working in a closed place, indoor place, you should follow WHO guidelines for indoor air quality. This guidelines is completely include fungi and shed the light on the fungal hazardous effect on human health in indoor environment. It's published in 2009 in Copenhagen. So Right now, you put in your mind, we have different ways for transmission fungal infection in our indoor environment. Looks like from person to person, looks like candida, pneumocysts. During construction, building or removing some of part of building. Aspergillus is the famous one. Ventilation system is Aspergillus fumigatus, Aspergillus flavus, Cladosporium, and Penicillium are the major and very common taxa of Aspergilli in ventilation systems. Cleaning activities, during cleaning activities, you will find Aspergillus fumigatus just 5.5 colony forming unit in cubic meter compared to 19 1 hour after cleaning. Oh my God. So if you're gonna to cleaning your room and your woman is working with brushing the room or something like that, so the spore is already distributed by a huge number in comparison of before cleaning. So if you're gonna to clean your room, please don't go after cleaning directly to your room. Just give the time for fungal spore to settle down to the floor again, because it's increased directly. Any waste containers in the street, it should contain Aspergillus. Plants at your room, at your office, about 86% of potted soil contains Aspergillus fumigatus and Aspergillus niger. What about water system? Aspergillus exophyala and Fusarium are very famous in water system in any place. So we have right now nosocomial infection. Nosocomial infection here is depends upon three interactive circles. Number one, presence of microbes in hospital environment. Number two, transmission between staff and patient and among patient. Number three, immunocompromised patient. So if we said nosocomial infection in any hospital, we should concentrate about these three circles. Presence of microbe. If it's present, it will transmit between staff and patient. What about immunocompromised patient? And the final, this data. So welcome to hospital. So if you go to any hospital, not in Egypt, I mean worldwide, you will find a lot of microbes anywhere, but the majority of hospital management working to first survey, second detect, third control. So survey your microbes, detect the type, control them. It is the way you should think in a hospital if you are working in hospital management team. So Zaki and Denning in 2017 published original article concerning serious fungal infection in Egypt, and they already doing a nice survey, and they found the estimated burden of serious fungal diseases in Egypt is very, very it's very, very huge, because it's total serious fungal disease burden is about 2 million people. But if you go through the serious fungal infection type, you will find that it started with candida, recurrent candida for vaginal of the majority of women, fungal keratosis, it's about 12,000 people. And why they doing this research? To do to shed the light about the serious infection in Egypt, and to to attract your attention as a young microbiologist, as a young mycologist, as a researcher, to take care about this serious fungal diseases, and to direct your attention to it, not to overlook it. You can here as an example, recurrent candida, it's estimated by 1 million and more. So the rate of infection is 3,000 per 100,000. Oh my God, it's a huge amount, big ratio in comparison with other fungal diseases. So we have three words, we know all of them: HAI, or hospital associated infection. Hospital is associated infection is when infection manifested within the first within 48 hours of admission. Hospital acquired infection, these are infections that are a result of treatment of a hospital or healthcare service unit. Infection are considered nosocomial if they first appear 48 hours or more after hospital admission or within 30 days after discharge. If you go to your home and the infection is appear within 30 days, it's hospital acquired infection. Healthcare associated infection is infectious that patient acquired during the course of receiving healthcare treatment for other condition. So we have these three words, and this figure is illustrated what the difference between all of them. One of the other problem met us during identification and isolation of fungi is some taxa of fungi is able right now to grow in a low water activity. And that means if the fungus is growing in high relative humidity, this fungus, due to climate changes, whatever, environmental factors, right now is converted from into a xerophilic fungi able to grow in low water activity. And this has affected the human health in a bad way. If you expected this fungus is growing in a high in high relative humidity, and you are transfer your patient to low water or low relative humidity, you will be astonished. Oh my God, the fungus has also infected the man. So it's a big problem due to what we already have been said, climate changes. So So what about exposure and disease? Exposure and disease is meaning if you are working in indoor and you are subjected to an inhalation of conidia, spore, hyphae, cell wall, components, mycotoxin, VOC compound, volatile organic compound, or contacted by conidia, spore, hyphal cell, mycotoxin. This is the exposure of yourself to different component of fungi, looks like conidia, spore, hyphae, mycotoxin. This is cause different types of disease, looks like allergy, irritation, invasive. Even it's rare, but in some immunocompromised patient, it caused a huge amount of disease, looks like aspergillosis and kidney failure. due to fungi, Chitomium, Berullicidum, or something like that. So exposure cause a lot of diseases due to what we said, the chance of human to receive a huge amount of conidia spore, hyphae, cell wall component, mycotoxin, and after that it's affected by this directly, his health affected directly by this inhalation. One of the most important thing in mycology and medical mycology is invasive aspergillosis. And the invasive aspergillosis is meaning dissemination of aspergillus in different internal organs of human being. So you can find that it's maybe to the brain, to the liver, and even in kidney. You can find also another types of fungi, looks like Chitomium, Berullicidum, which already affected brain. Also, fungi infection of the kidney is already reported and documented by international researcher worldwide. What about hospital demolition and heavy excavation? Oh, so you are gonna to rebuild or replace some places inside the hospital? Yes. Is it a kind of fungal transmission way? Yes. So relationship between environmental fungal contamination and the incidence of invasive aspergillosis in hematology patient. So if you're gonna to replace or to rebuild some parts of the hospital, you will find increase in aspergillosis infection percentage in your data, not in Egypt only, in worldwide too. Reduction of invasive aspergillosis incidence among immunocompromised patients after control of environmental exposure. So if you control your environmental exposure in a good way, this will help you to reduction of invasive aspergillosis among immunocompromised patients. Another real study called Nosocomial aspergillosis and building construction. Oh my God! So if we are building in a new part in a hospital, if we are doing heavy excavations or something like that, it will turn up sand, dust, which already carry a lot of fungal spores, and which causes nosocomial aspergillosis and invasive aspergillosis for some immunocompromised patient. So we have right now nosocomial versus community acquired invasive aspergillosis. So what is the difference between them? Nosocomial aspergillosis is due to break-in or contamination of hospital water system. If you found invasive aspergillosis in any hospital, you should check water system of the hospital. Also, you should check HEPA filter of filtration system. Also, due to construction or demolition work in the hospital. This is the main three reasons of nosocomial invasive aspergillosis in hospital. But in community, due to housing quality, due to occupational activities, due to leisure activity, due to exposure to aspergillus spore, minimum effective dose not known. So you are not able to ask me how many spore, professor, in the 1 liter of air supposed to do invasive aspergillosis. It is not known till now. So nosocomially, versus community-acquired invasive aspergillosis is very, very, very clear in this table, according to Brace, Christians et al. 2007. We remember tsunami, and tsunami is very high tides came from oceans and cover a lot and big area of land. And there is a fungus is called Saskinia vasiformis, which already distributed in as invasive during this tsunami, and it causes a lot of cutaneous and subcutaneous fatal diseases. Oh my God! So fungi, this fungi is belonging to Zygomycota, and a very simple fungi from Zygomycota, non-septated mycelial fungi, is distributed after tsunami and causing cutaneous and subcutaneous fatal diseases. Oh my God. So that is what already discussed before. Environmental and the climate change effects on fungi. No one expected that. What? So if you went to a hospital, you may be infected in brain, in lung, in skin, in kidney by one of the major diseases here. It may be histoplasmosis, it may be aspergillus, may be disseminated aspergillosis, may be candidemia, maybe some kind of bacteria. A lot of diseases you may be take care of them during you went to a hospital. If you are old, if you are immunocompromised patient, if you are a diabetic patient, if you are a transplanted organ transplanted patient, liver, kidney, whatever, so you should take care of that. Something looks like prevalence of nosocomial infection in Egypt teaching hospital, published by Rania Ahmed. She mentioned what already happened in some of teaching hospital in Egypt, but she studied bacteria. As I told for all of you, we are in Egypt very interested in bacteria, not in fungi. But our Bible in that is Zaki and Denning, serious fungal infection in Egypt, because they put their hand on the wound, right on the wound, because we need to discuss that in with a clear vision, without hidden anything. Yes, we have serious fungus infection in Egypt and some hospitals, or the majority of hospital, how we can control that, how we can do that. So how we can monitoring and prevention that? Air sampling, swabs, gloves. So the team of very professional mycologists should collect air sample, swabs from any place, gloves of the hospital team, also sampling from patient include urine, blood, sputum, especially sputum in sterile condition. It's lavage equipment, not just sputum. HEPA filtration of the outdoor air sample should be collected from HEPA filter. Air purifier, plasma mobile unit, protection from activity within the hospital that may produce fungal aerosols. So if you are going to rebuilding a part of this hospital, patient, especially immunocompromised patient, should be transferred from this hospital to another one, away from this hospital. And what about plant purifying airs? Yes, some research showed that there is a 10 or more than 10 plants able to purifying airs, and our professor Aid Quresh in Faculty of Agriculture in Suez Canal University already run a project concerning plants purifying air in Suez Canal University Hospital, and he got a great result by decreasing the aerosols, fungi in aerosol in some surgery rooms. So you can read about air purifying plants. You will find it easy and Google if you like. There is top causes of death from the environment. If you check all of them, you will find 8.2 million out of 12.16 million deaths caused by environment are due to non-communicable diseases. So think about fungi. You should think about fungi. It's a huge number, 8.2 million. What about the climate right now and more drug-resistant infection? We are all the time reading about bugs. Bugs will kill you. Bacteria is not not killed by any antibiotics right now. MRSA and drug-resistant bacteria, antibiotic resistant increase with local temperature. So a lot of published work concerning these topics worldwide. So a climate for antibiotic resistance, what already happened, antimicrobial resistance of the environment and its relevance to environmental regulators. So climate change completely changes the behavior of microbes, either bacteria or fungi. We are suffering a lot from that. All of them is not controlled by antibiotics or antifungal. So it is a big problem right now for all of us. Who is Sharif Zaki? Sharif Zaki is an Asian member and Gavi ambassador, and he is the founder of Egyptian Association of Medical Mycologists, and he is the president of the association also. He recommended the following: we should improving medical mycology education in Egypt. Sharif has said medical mycology is not is overlooked in all faculties of science and even in medicine. It's just a very primitive course. We should improving medical mycology education in Egypt. We should conduct intensive research on epidemiology of human fungal diseases in Egypt. We should doing that. We have fragmentary data till now. We have very small published data concerning that. Determination of the real burden of human fungal disease in Egypt, which already started by Sharif and the digging in 2017. Achieving the Gavi goal of diagnosing and treating all human fungal disease in Egypt by 2025. It is a big goal for Gavi to diagnosing and treating human fungal diseases, not in Egypt, worldwide, because they need to collect data. They need to put the real solution for all of us. So, from my point of view, I should say that botanists, zoologists, and physicians, medical mycology needs you. Please, you should remember that bad taxonomy can kill. If you are a physician, you're not allowed to identify fungus. You just need to isolate it, and you can ask any mycologist to identify it. Because if you use, is a famous example, if you use some kind of eye drops as you those that is aspergillus infect the eye, keratitis as example, and you maybe use a kind of eye drop. This eye drop maybe enhance the presence of mucorosis, and it may be kill the patient because it's you just identify the fungus as aspergillus, but it is not aspergillus. So please, botanists, don't doing that. Zoologists don't doing that. Physicians don't do that. We are a mycologist. You should know that bad taxonomy, if you are identify fungi in a wrong way, it can kill you. Finally, thank you all, and I hope this brief give you a light and shed the light about the problem of fungal mycology in Egypt and in hospital, and how we can control that, and how we can start to control that. I will back to you after 2 minutes to receive all of your question. So thank you again. See you.